Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Bushcraft Skills. So, as I've been playing with these fire steels, kind of getting back into a little bit of primitive fire making, in my research, I stumbled across some new information. And quite frankly, I was shocked. When I learned to do flint and steel, it was from the point of view that you needed char. That almost nothing else would catch that spark. Or if it did, you were like super lucky. And I stumbled across a YouTube channel called Wilderness Strong. And it is a father and son YouTube channel. Very professionally well done. His editing, everything is just magnificent. Link in the description. I really recommend that if you're into the outdoors and anything along the primitive line of things, that you go over and you subscribe. Outstanding information on his channel. Well, he did a 4-part series on different primitive fire making, and the 4th one in that series just blew me away. This guy, he tested, it looked like to me like close to 100 different common plants, trying to find something that you could use with flint and steel to make fire. And he had pretty strict criteria. It had to be a common plant in the lower 48. It had to work repeatedly. You had to have repeatable results. And they found 3 plants. And I'll put a link to that video specifically below too. You need to check it out. You need to watch it. He explains it much better than I ever could. But it turns out that one of those plants I have on my property. And I've been fighting with it for decades. Literally since I was a child. And that plant is great burdock. I have had a hate-hate relationship with great burdock all of my life. My earliest memory of great burdock was we were up north and I was running around the woods and I came back to the camp and my dad gave me a stern talking to because I had burdock burrs all over my clothes. They're on my shirt, they're on my shoelaces, some were even stuck to my pants. And that's how burdock spreads. It has these little burrs. I'll put some pictures up here so you can see. And those burrs appear in the fall. And they stick to animals, to their fur. And inside that burr, it's a seed pod. And that's how they get all over the place. In fact, a lot of people consider burdock to be an invasive species. It's everywhere. I mean, I think the only place you're not going to find burdock is probably in the desert. And that's it. Alright? Well, the reason, besides it sticking to everything and being everywhere, is no matter how many times I've cut the stuff back, I've pulled it up by the root, I've went scorched earth, the stuff just comes back. So, in a way, I'm kind of happy for that because it is an amazing fire resource. And in this episode, we're going to explore it. So, let me go outside take you outside with me. We're going to go out back, and I'm going to show you where I have some burdock that I was going to cut down. I was going to try to kill it off. Now I'm not. And show you what it looks like and what we'll be harvesting and what we'll be doing. This here is king burdock, or burdock. When it flowers, I'll put images up there if I can find some, so you can see what it looks like when it flowers. And then after it flowers, it gets the brambles. It looks a lot like rhubarb, but it is not rhubarb. Not in the slightest. And what you want to look for is these leaves when they dry out. And if we look, you would look down in here to see if you can find any. And if I take a look, here's part of a leaf that has died, but it's not fully dry. I don't know, it's somewhat dry. You can take this, just start working it. And you'll see all those fibers. And this is what they were showing. I mean, look at those fibers. Look at that. Was catching sparks and able to make their ember. Well, I'm going to harvest some more. We're going to put it over on the patio blocks in the sun, and I'm going to harvest a green leaf and we're going to put it in the sun and make sure everything's dry, and we are going to give it a try with our Flint and steel. Alright, our leaves, these are our dead dry ones, have been out here for about 3 hours in the sun. The sun is now getting low, so we don't have direct sunlight. There's our green one that is dried out as far as I can tell. I know from his video that this is going to work. I don't know if that one's going to work, so we're going to test them both. First, let me get some of this guy. Oh yeah, that's nice and dry. And we're going to go ahead. Whoa! Keep dropping the camera today. And we're just gonna work this guy. Oh yeah, look at all those fibers. Look at that. That, hopefully, will catch our ember. Let's go find out. We have our bird nest here with our shredded jute twine, flint and steel, and our processed burdock. Burdock. We'll see if we can get this to take a spark. Got it. Okay. See if we can do this. Oh, that's smoky. Yikes! Almost set my glove on fire. Well, it's definitely wanting to catch. I'm just having an issue getting it to catch. I mean, look at it. There it goes. Whew. So it totally works with the processed dead leaf. Now we're going to see if we can get that green leaf that we dried out. We're going to process that and see if it can catch a spark. We got our green burdock leaf that's all dried out. Just gonna crush that up. We're just gonna see if that'll take an ember. But we can make an ember, take a spark I should say. And it looks, other than the color, it has the same consistency. I mean, it's got a lot of small fibers. I don't see why it wouldn't work. So, let's give it a try. Nope. Throwing some pretty good sparks in there, but they don't seem to be catching. Let's try over here. Now, I don't think it's catching. I think there's just something different enough about it. Let me grab my ferro rod. So, ferro rod sparks are a lot hotter than this. Let's see if we can nope. I got it to take, but took a ferro rod. See? So, if you had a ferro rod, you could get this burdock to burn. Or make a coal. But you're really looking for the dead leaf. Because our whole point here is flint and steel. There it is. The harvested great burdock. It caught a spark from flint and steel. Amazing. I didn't show you how many times I did this. And I did this a lot. Like 6 times to make sure I wasn't dreaming. Because when you're raised to believe that there's only one way of doing something, like making primitive fire with char cloth, and somebody comes along and discovers something like this, it really changes everything. What I thought was a pest plant is now a resource, and I am farming it. Yes. I'm letting it grow just so the leaves can die and get to this state to where I can farm it and add it to my primitive fire kit. How crazy is that? Well, that's all I got to say on King Burdock. And once again, that YouTube channel where I found out that information, link in the description. And I gotta say, thank you, sir, you and your son. And James says thank you too. You have really changed everything for some of us in the bushcraft community. I'll see you all later, and thank you for watching.